Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Whether you're new or not, my name is Vicky. I kind of have a nicheless presence on the internet. I just kind of do everything. In this video, if you've clicked on it, then obviously you want to start running. Whether it's your first race, you want to just get outside for the very first time ever, or you want to do a half marathon like I did. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video. Half marathon is the farthest I've ever run, but I'm kind of, I've got the bug, I've got the itch now. So stick around if you want to be a part of my running journey, because I fear there are more races and runs to come in the future. But for now, we're going to talk about how to start. And we're just going to kind of go over everything. Tips, tricks, nutrition, fuel, hydration, things I wish I did, things that maybe I wish I didn't do, all of those things. But I feel like we need to rewind. I don't know what kind of sound that was, but we need to rewind to the beginning of my running journey. Because honestly, I mean, if you follow me anywhere else or if you watched any of my other videos, you will know this by now. I always told myself that I was not built for running. And I'm not just saying that to get likes or clicks or whatever. I literally, my entire life, I grew up playing hockey and basketball. So I was always, sorry, I talk so much with my hands. I was always very active, but I was never a runner. I would always be like, oh, I'm good at sprinting. I'm good at short distances. I am not a long distance runner. Never have been, never will be. I literally have told myself that my entire life, even as a child, even when I was so fit and so active. God, I wish I could just go back and be like, girl, don't limit yourself. If you want to do this, you can. And honestly, I don't regret anything growing up. I loved the sports that I was playing. And obviously I was active enough to be running around the basketball court and skating around the rink. But long distance running just always felt like something that was not made for me. I am not a long and lean person like you see most really successful runners. They all kind of have a similar look, very lean, not a lot of fat on them. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That ain't me. I'm carrying some cargo. I got some extra shit going on. That's okay. But I just always felt like I was never ever going to be able to run. And I mean even 5 kilometers. Not that that's not a great distance, because that's such a feat. But I would always be like, I just wish I could go outside, leave my front door and run a 5K. And I just couldn't, or that's what I told myself. And because I was telling myself that, I actually couldn't. I would go, I would sprint, I would go way too fast, not be able to pace myself, have to stop, and then get really discouraged and not be able to do it. And the cycle would continue and continue and continue until I moved to London. I moved to London after my mom had died. My life was flipped upside down. I moved to a brand new city, a new country, new continent, if you will. I was just kind of feeling so lost, lonely, isolated, scared, excited. I just had a lot of emotions, and I moved to London and I was like, you know what? New city, new me. And of course that didn't happen, but that's when I just decided I wanted to start running. That was 3 years ago now that I moved to London, and I decided that I really, really wanted to run. I was like, I'm an adult. I don't have any sports that I'm playing anymore. I really want to, I loved the gym. I was doing workout classes and going to the gym a lot, and I just wanted something. I moved to London in March, so it was the spring, and I was like, it's nice out. I really, really, really want to try getting out there and going for a run. And so I did. I tried, and I was running, but I was doing the same thing where I would run, go way too fast, gas myself, stop, and kind of do that back and forth, which is also, by the way, not a bad thing. If that's what works for you, and I think there are methods that actually can be really effective, where you just run and stop and run and stop and run and stop. But for me, I was I just want that feeling of continuous running. I just want to be able to do it for 5 kilometers. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I want. So I kept trying, but it just something wasn't clicking, something wasn't sticking. I then moved back to Canada for a short period of time before going back to London. It was all a mishmash of reasons and things, but I was, did I have something on my lip that whole time? And you guys didn't tell me? So rude. So anyway, there was a lot of different reasons, but I had to come back to Canada for 3 months. And for whatever reason, I was like, okay, I'm lost, confused, don't know what's going on, trying to figure my shit out, and I need a way to escape. So I sat down, looked at myself, took a long, hard look at myself and said, Vicky, Get out there, run, and just do not go so fast. Take it slow. It is not a race right now. Literally go at a speed that you can continue to run. That doesn't matter if it's an 8-minute, 9-minute, 10-minute kilometer. Literally does not matter what it looks like. Everyone driving by, everyone walking by is minding their own business. And even if they were to look at me and think, wow, look how slow that girl's going, I'm the one who's running. They're the one who's in a car looking at me. And either way, it just literally doesn't matter. But I needed to tell myself this, I needed to give myself a little pep talk in order to get myself to just calm the F down. Because every time I was going out, I was gassing myself, exhausted, and discouraged. And for some reason, I don't know what it was, this time it stuck. Maybe it was just the real long, hard look I took in the mirror. But it stuck. I went outside, I went for a run. I think I only did 3 kilometers, but I didn't stop. I was going at what felt like a glacial pace, but it felt like I could keep it up. And so, shocker, I was able to keep going, and I didn't feel like shit afterward, and I felt encouraged, not discouraged. This is just all to say that if it's something you really want to do and you really want to try, just keep going, just keep trying. It can be so discouraging. Even now, I've been running for 2.5 years, which is not a long time. But even now, sometimes I'll go out for a run and a 5K feels impossible. In the previous week, I was doing a 14-kilometer long run for my training, and that felt fine. You know what I mean? Running, let me just tell you, the biggest thing I hope you take away from this video is that running and your running journey, if you will, is not linear. It's not going to be linear. Some weeks and some days are going to feel amazing, and some weeks and some days are going to feel like shit, horrible. And it's okay to feel discouraged, and it's okay to not have a good run, but if you want to keep doing it and you want to continue on and you want to get better and you want to enjoy it, you just have to keep going. You just have to wake up the next day, put on your running sneakers, and get back out there. So anyway, that is a very long story as to where my running journey kind of started. And here we are, running half marathons and training for things and hoping to do more half marathons. And maybe, am I going to put this out there? Am I going to say this on the internet? Someday I kind of want to do a marathon, which feels literally insane because I would always say, I just want to get out there for a 5K. I'm never really going to do a long distance. Even a half marathon was LOL, I am not doing that. Anyway, here we are. For the rest of the video, I want to go over some tips on how to start running, whether you're starting from scratch, couch to 5K, or you're kind of in the middle beginning of your running journey and you just want some tips on how to improve or feel better. Not that I'm an expert by any means. I just ran my first half marathon. These are just some tips and tricks on how to start running, how to potentially, and how I did run my first half marathon ever. So stick around for the rest of the video if you want some tips and tricks and you want to hear how to run your first half marathon. Okay guys, now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the video. The things you need to know before you start running and my half marathon experience. It only felt fitting to wear my Barcelona hat for this portion of the video. So anyway, I fear I'm going to be talking for a million hours, so I just need to get started now. And let's hope that I don't, okay? Let's hope. So now I just wanted to get into if you are looking into starting to run and you just have no idea where to start, because honestly, that was me as well. I just didn't know. And I feel like, especially now, all you see online is people who are running and they have the whole, all the gear and no idea was very much a thing for a little while where people were just buying a bunch of shit that they didn't need. And running is supposed to be one of those really cheap, accessible forms of exercise that you can do, and anything can be expensive if you make it. You know what I mean? You can tell yourself that you can't go for a run if you don't have this, that, and the other thing, but you can. You can lace up a pair of sneakers, walk out your front door, and go for a run, and you do not need all of the gear. You could just literally go outside right now or go into a treadmill, you can run. So we're gonna start there. We're gonna start with gear. Like I said, you really do not need it all. You can start with a pair of sneakers, and that is just fine. You don't need to have the coolest and latest in sports bras and leggings and sneakers and sunglasses and etc., etc., etc. You don't need all of that stuff. But I will talk about the things that have made a huge difference for me. But before I do that, I want to say that I think you should go out there, try it, see if you like it, see if it's going to stick before you spend money and, invest more into the sport. I really think you should see if it's something that you're actually going to do, if you're actually going to enjoy, because if not, running isn't for everyone. Despite what you might see online, not everyone is going to love it, and you might not, and I hope you do. This video is literally about running, and my whole personality is about running now. Just kidding, I hope. I love it, and it has literally changed my life, but like it's not for everyone. So definitely give it a try before you spend a bunch of money, okay? Number one, and pretty much the only thing you actually need for running, is a pair of shoes. I do think in the beginning, if you're just trying it out for a couple of runs, you don't need to buy a super expensive or even like proper pair of running sneakers. But if you're getting into running and you're putting miles and miles in during the weeks, it is really important to have a good pair of sneakers. It's really important to get your gait analyzed, see what your pronation is, if you overpronate, if you like turn your feet inward. There's just so many different things and so many different factors that could cause injury later down the line. So it is really important to try out different sneakers and to see what works for you. And in order to not have to spend a bunch of money up front at the beginning of your journey, I think it's super important to go to a store, get it tested, talk to a professional, talk to someone who like knows what they're talking about, and get a pair of shoes that are right for you. You will be surprised at the size of your foot for a running sneaker. You usually have to size up at least one whole size if you want to keep all of your toenails, and even then you probably won't. So I will say this now, say goodbye to your toenails. Not all of them. And it doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to most people. You will probably lose at least one toenail throughout your journey. It's kind of a rite of passage, so just accept it and move on, okay? I am currently in the process of losing deux. So speaking of sneakers, these are the ones that I am currently running in. They are dirty already, and I just bought them right before Barcelona. So learn from my mistakes with the light sneakers, but there's just not that many options. Like some running sneakers, most running sneakers are fugly, okay? But anyway, these do the trick for me. ASICS seem to just work really, really well for me, for my body, for my gait and my pronation. ASICS, I have the ASICS Novablast 5s. They're relatively new, and I really, really like these. Like how they feel for running. I ran my half marathon in them and felt really great. I haven't had any major foot issues with them or anything like that, so they get a thumbs up from me. But like I said, we are all very different, so go try some on the treadmill, see how you feel, see how it makes your body feel before you just go and buy the sneaker that you're seeing influencers talk about online. There's such an influx of information, from myself now included, like I'm talking about running and I'm talking about the things that I use. Go and try things to see what's right for you. Also, if you don't have access to like an area that has a gait analysis or a store that you're able to go in and do that, I do think the next best thing would just be to like order a pair of shoes, do a little bit of research, order a pair of shoes online, or go and buy a pair of sneakers that you think will fit for you and try them on the treadmill before, because if you try them outside, you can't return them, but if you do try them on a treadmill, you can. So that would be your next best bet, because I know not everyone has access to a gait analysis or a store that's able to like test you and do those things for you. Like I said, you do not need all the gear, but once you get started, I just want to tell you like the main things that I love and the things that have definitely helped me, and the gear that I think is definitely worth it once you are committed and you're like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to run some distance. I'll link everything that I can down below so that you guys have it, but I think for me, a running vest was huge, especially in the summer. I haven't been wearing it at all in the winter just because I have like a little belt and I've been wearing like so many layers that I don't really want to put this over top. But this running belt in the summer, when I first started running especially, was so amazing. It can fit a water bottle. It's like a 500 ml water bottle that I think comes with this one, but you can also get other ones. I know people who really like the running vests that have like the water, whatever that's called, like pouch that you can like drink from the straw. I just have like the soft flask that you can put into the pocket, but it's just really great, especially for a long run. I mean, a long run is different for everyone, by the way, and if anyone's judging you for wearing a vest or for bringing fuel on like a run that is short to some, then just block out the noise, because it literally doesn't matter. It's not their run, it's yours. Just remember, that's the most important thing, is that it literally doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking or anything like that. You're gonna see so much shit online, but like, you're out there running, so it doesn't matter. Like, you're doing something that's great for you. You don't have to worry about what anyone else thinks. But I've just seen like so much rhetoric online about people wearing vests, and there'll be people in the comments, like trolls in the comments, being like, you wore a vest for a 5-kilometer run, or you wore a vest for a 10-kilometer run. Like, yeah, some people want to wear a vest. Sometimes I wear this vest for a really short run because I'm like going to pick up something after, and I can put something in the little back pocket here. Like, it's sweet. Or sometimes I'll wear it for like a shorter run, and then I have my extra bags in here so I can go like grocery shopping or whatever. Just don't worry about what anyone else thinks, but I do think a running vest, if you're doing distance, is super, super helpful. And this one I just got on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them anywhere, but this one hasn't really caused me like any issues or chafing or anything like that. So I do recommend this one, especially in the warmer weather. Now, these guys are relatively expensive. I got them for Christmas this year, and I really do think they're worth it. They are one of those things that I was like, is everyone just getting paid to talk about these online? And yes, most people were. I am not. I wish, shocks if you want to, please. But I 100% think they're worth it. I think they're a great headphone for running. My Apple earphones, like the ones that go into your ears, keep fizzing and like literally makes me feel like I'm gonna have a brain injury, and it's actually really scary. Anytime like I sweat or anything, fit in properly because they're a little too big for my ears. And then the over the ear headphones that I have are like really slippery and slide around all the time. So anyway, any sort of headphones that are like this that go around your ear, I think are like a really good place to start. But these are really great because they're bone conduction. They don't go in your ear and you can hear everything going on around you. I wore these for my half marathon. I could hear everyone cheering. I could hear everything that was going on around me. I didn't feel like I was like, you know, zoning out completely and like blocking out all the noise, because I wanted to be able to like experience the cheering and the crowds and everyone around me, just kind of like being in it while also being able to listen to music. And I was able to very much do both. So highly, highly recommend a pair of headphones, even like any sort of bone conduction or headphones that aren't completely noise canceling. I know that seems like the best option, especially when you're like, you just want to be distracted, you want to listen to your music or you want to listen to a podcast or whatever. But especially as women, unfortunately, we do have to think about that a little bit more, and like safety comes first, and you do not want to be completely cut off from the world, okay? I promise. Like cars, there's just so many different things, and this isn't just women, but obviously we do have to think about that stuff more. But like I've heard lots of tales of people getting like hit by someone who was biking because they didn't hear them coming behind, or, you know, cars. Like I just don't want anything to happen to anyone, so I think safety comes first. And noise cancellation is probably not the best bet for running outside. Once you start getting up in the mileage, one thing that is absolutely necessary, unless you want to be crying all of the time, is running socks. Anti-blister socks. I cannot tell you the blisters that I got, especially in the summer when your feet are sweating more and you're wearing cotton socks and they're thicker. You need anti-blister running socks. They are worth spending money on. I'm sure you can find cheap ones, you can find expensive ones. Take it from me. Anti-blister running socks. Trust me and thank me later. I did just want to remind everyone that the number one thing, truly, I keep saying the number one thing, I can't keep saying that. But one of the most important things is literally just to start slow. If this is your first time, or if you're like me and you've tried it time and time again and nothing has stuck, just start slow and don't overdo it in the beginning. I know it can be really exciting. Like if you go for a run and you're like, oh my God, that felt so good. Like I'm gonna go for another run tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go for a run the next day and the next day and the next day. You really, really do need to take it easy, especially if you're kind of going from 0 to 100. Like you don't wanna injure yourself. You don't wanna burn out. You don't wanna start hating it. So if this is a lifelong thing for you, whether it's running or exercise or just getting into like a fitness journey in general, take it slow. That you have your whole life ahead of you, okay? So let's just like take a deep breath all together right now. And remember that if you run today, you can take a rest tomorrow, and the outdoors or the treadmill will still be there the next day and the following day and the following day for you to get your shoes back on, lace them up, and get out there again. Like, I know it can be really exciting, and I mean, I'm one to talk. I literally did 3 workout classes last weekend, but I have built my stamina up, and that is also something I wouldn't do every day. But you just need to start slow. Don't overdo it. Just remember that this is a journey for you, and it's not just like, I mean, hey, if you're watching this video because you're just gonna do a half marathon or you're gonna do 10K or your first 5K and then you're done, by all means, you know, go ham for the period of time that you're training and then you can stop. But I can tell you right now, you won't be done. Once you get into it and you start the training and you fall in love with it, you're not gonna just stop. I promise. If you do it properly. If you overdo it, then you will get burnt out and you might never want to look at running again once you're done your race. So my advice to you is to not burn out. So take it slow. It's there. I had to take a whole week off of training during my half marathon training block because of IT band pain. And I don't even want to think about where I would be if I didn't take that week off, because honestly, I was in so much pain. I thought I wasn't going to be able to walk again. Obviously that was a bit dramatic, but I was in so much pain, and me taking a week off did not ruin my progress. It helped me, and I was able to actually rest and recover. So the next thing is, and I think this is extremely important. Obviously, all of the things that I'm saying I think are important, and that's why I'm saying them. But this one is very important, and I think very like pertinent to how I was feeling in the beginning of my running journey and even now. But it's just so important not to compare yourself to other people. You do hear this all the time, but I am just going to be the 100th person to tell you, do not compare yourself to other people. Do not. Your starting point could be someone's 5-year journey. So looking at someone online for motivation and for tips and tricks, that's amazing. But looking at someone and thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do what they do, or they're way better than me, or they make me feel like shit about myself, block, mute. Do not look, because even if someone that you watch online, you love them, you really trust them, if they're like a gym influencer, for example, and then they start running and they're starting to post about how they're a beginner runner and this is the beginning of their journey and blah, 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 but they're way faster and have picked it up super quick and are just like already raring and ready to go, that is likely because they have a very good fitness base. Not saying you don't. Listen, I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking anyone who's watching this video. You could be someone who's going from the gym and wanting to start running, and that's why you clicked on this video as well. And so anyone is welcome here, everyone. I love you all. But I'm just saying that your starting point could be so different from someone else's. So even if you're looking at someone and it's their beginning, that could mean a myriad of things. It could mean so many different things that there's just no point in comparing yourself to another person. It's so easy to do it. I still do it. I try not to, but I'm like, wow, some people are so fast, or they haven't been running for as long as I have. Why are they so much faster than me? But like body composition, medical history, your age, your like where you live, the air quality, the elevation gain, like there are so many factors that go into how fast you're gonna be running, how good you feel when you're running. Like some people lose a lot of weight when they run, some people gain a little bit of weight because you get so hungry. Like everyone's journey is just so different. So just try to relinquish that control right now and try to remember that it's literally your journey. This goes for anything, but especially with running because there's so many tangible results and you can see like, you know, people are posting their times and their per kilometers and their per miles and how much they're running, how often and how far and all that stuff. And it's just, everyone's journey is just so different. So if you can, try your absolute hardest not to compare yourself to other people. I try not to talk too much about my pace because I know that that didn't really help me in the beginning, but I do think it can be really helpful and motivating to hear what other people are doing. So I have started to talk about it a little bit more. I got brave enough to share my Strava profile with some of my friends because I always used to keep that very, very close to the chest because I don't know, I felt embarrassed by my pace, but there's nothing embarrassing about getting outside and doing something that makes you feel good, okay? Now we're on to the fuel portion. I just can't even talk about the period of time where I was doing fasted cardio. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going out for a run at 7 in the morning and I feel like shit and I'm exhausted and lethargic and thirsty and I don't feel good and I'm not having fun. I wonder why. Oh, because I slept all night, didn't eat anything, woke up, went outside for a run. Of course I didn't feel good. I literally do not go for a run anymore without at least a little something in my stomach. Everyone's different. You do you, you do what works, test out different things, but I can tell you almost for certain that no one is going to, you can't run on empty. Can a car drive on empty? No. So you literally cannot run figuratively and literally on empty. So I think it's really important to be hydrated, and we'll talk about hydration in a second, but also to have fuel. And that means different things for different people, but it also means different things for different periods of your running. So for me, I mean fuel for before I run. That's very important to me. And I've found what works and what doesn't. I've found certain things give me stitches, certain things don't. It is so different person to person. But I know like a general rule of thumb is you want a quick digestible carb. You don't want to do too heavy on the protein, too heavy on the fats. You want something like a banana, a couple of dates with nut butter, a piece of toast with honey and butter. Honey is really, really great because it's like, you know, quick, fast acting energy. So you kind of just have to see what works for you, test it out. Sometimes like I find oats a little bit too much for me unless I have a long time to digest before I'm going for a run, but some people love oats before they run. So test it out, see what works, see what doesn't. Like that's the fun part. Honestly, one of the most fun parts of running is like the eating that comes along with it. The fueling and the eating after and the celebrations. Not at all that you need to earn your food, but you're just really hungry and you start to see food as fuel very much when you're running and you're putting your body through this much. And you're like, wow, look at what I can do and look at what I'm doing for my body. So I've like my perspective on food has completely changed because I see it now as a way for me to like move my body and lift heavy and run far and fast for me. And I'm like, wow, my body needs these things and I want to eat healthy food. It's just amazing. And like the coffees and the pastries that I've had after runs with friends, like honestly, running seems like such a lonely and solo sport and it's really not. It can be so community building if you let it and if you like, you know, get out of your comfort zone. That was a tangent. I'm talking about fuel. You need fuel before you run. You need fuel after your run. that's where you want to get the protein and the carbs again after your run to replenish all of the energy that you just expended, but also during your run, depending on how long it is. And that is very different for every single person. Like one of my best friends, marathon runner, talk about her in pretty much every video. She doesn't need fuel for like a long period of time because she's just such a seasoned runner that she doesn't feel like she needs it until a certain period, whereas I would need it a lot sooner than her. So I started taking gels during my half marathon training, and I'm really, really glad that I did because they helped me very much throughout my half marathon. But anyway, I found gels. I don't have any with me anymore, but I will link them down below. I use the SIS gels, which I believe the brand is called Science in Sport. I just found those ones worked the best with me, sat the best in my stomach, didn't cause me like cramping or issues, didn't make me want to my pants like a lot of them apparently do. I've heard Morton gels are really amazing in terms of like efficacy. I don't really think they taste like anything, which is probably better. And I've heard some of them are vile. So do your testing, try a couple of them out, order them or go to a sports store. I think like Sport Check in Canada and like Mec and all of those places will have different gels. And some people love to like eat. Some people will just like bring dates. Like you don't need to go out and buy these expensive things. Like you can literally bring candy. A lot of like, if you look at the ingredients in like those chewable energy you can get for running versus like a candy, like a Percy Pig, like I used to take on runs, they're very similar, the ingredients. Essentially, it's fast acting carbs and sugars, right? But for me personally, I cannot chew and run. It scares me. It makes me feel like I'm gonna choke. It is not fun. And I like feel like it's just not a good experience, but some people love it. So again, test it out, see how you feel. Do not wanna try a new gel on a race day, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not try anything new pre or during the race on a race day. Electrolytes. When I first started running, I used to go for a run, feel so exhausted that I could barely do anything for the rest of the day and get such a bad headache because I was not drinking enough water, not hydrating myself properly throughout the run and after the run, and not recovering properly. Till I found electrolyte tabs. I didn't really start taking them until I was running in London, and they had tabs all over the place, and I was just seeing people talk about them all the time, so I just picked up a random pack from Sainsbury's, and it changed my life. I know a lot of these things have changed my life, but truly, I'm not lying, they have. I was not getting headaches after running anymore, and I learned also how to slow down and not gas myself so that I wasn't going to the point of like being so sweaty and like overdoing it. But the electrolytes have helped so much. And once you start really sweating, especially in the summer, especially if you're going for longer runs, I cannot stress enough how good these are, because these are, I haven't found anything like Element. LMNT, again, wish I was being sponsored by them. Shox, Element, Runna, any of you guys, I am your number one fan. I talk about you all the time. I have told everyone in my life and now everyone online about you, so I feel like I should be sponsored. And this is my audition tape. I'm just kidding. But these are way, way, way higher in sodium and like the electrolytes that you need to actually properly be rehydrated. So it's sodium, potassium, and magnesium. There's no sugar in these ones. These ones have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, so they are something you have to get used to. It is also something you shouldn't just be drinking on the reg if you're not like exerting yourself, because that is a lot of sodium. Obviously, like that's half of what a normal daily intake is if you're not sweating and doing a lot of exercise. But they are so good for recovery and for hydration if you are running a lot, exercising a lot, any sport. Like if you are sweating a lot and really working hard, these are amazing for recovery and rehydration. You do need to get used to them. You do. They're super salty. My dad and sister, who like literally love salt, I am like sensitive to salt and I'm actually obsessed with these things. They were both like gagging when they first started. But the flavors are amazing and you get used to it. My first sip, I was like, holy shit, how is anyone drinking this? And now they're like my favorite things to drink ever. It literally took me like 2 times of trying it before I was obsessed. I think the watermelon salt so far is my favorite. I really, really, really want to try the mango chili, but they didn't have that in like the pack that I bought. But the citrus salt and orange salt, so good. Honestly, none of them are bad. Like they're all so good, but I do think watermelon salt is my favorite, which is shocking because I normally don't like watermelon flavored liquids. And finally, we are on to the stretch, rest, and recovery portion. All of these things are so important. I can't stress enough how important it is to stretch. A warm-up and a cool down. I'm talking dynamic stretches in the beginning before you go on a run, which means like you're moving, you're doing lunges, you're doing butt kicks, you're doing stretches that are warming your body up and getting ready to run, getting your ankles ready, your legs, your heart rate, all of those things, very important to warm up, even more important to cool down. I learned my lesson when I was not cooling down and I had that major IT band pain, and I have not skipped a cool down since. I swear by this thing, my roller. Again, I just got like a cheap one from online. This one is nice because it has the hard torture device part and it also has like the softer part. So it's a 2-in-1. This has been a lifesaver. It literally has saved my legs. So I can't stress enough how important it is to stretch. You do not need one of these, but I do think that they're really great. A tip from me would be because I didn't really know where to start when I was like doing proper cool downs for running and warm-ups actually for that matter. A follow along YouTube video. Just search up pre-run stretch on YouTube, post-run stretch, post-run rollout routine. And I just started watching them until I kind of got it down and I knew what stretches I should be doing and for how long. But it's also way easier and you're way more likely to like do it for the amount of time that you actually need to if you're watching a follow along video and they have a little timer and there's some music, whatever, you know? Super helpful. That's a tip for me. Stretching, absolutely, but watching a follow along video on YouTube, or I don't know if you have the Peloton app, I feel like they have stretches, or any like workout app that you're using. Follow along videos, but stretch, 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 stretch. And last year or the year before that, I got a pretty bad case of plantar fasciitis. This thing saved my life. Little ball, you roll your foot out, and it's also a really good idea if you have any plantar fascia issues to roll out your foot before you go for a run and get it loose. So I've been doing that before my runs and after my runs sometimes as well. I don't, knock on wood, I don't really have the pain anymore, but I do this so that I don't get it again because, you know, maintenance. I forgot to mention this when I was talking. I don't know how because I had it in my notes and the video is already like 45 minutes long, but I'm just about to make it a tiny bit longer because I need to talk about how important it is to cross train. When you're running, you need to not just be running. I know that sounds counterproductive, but you need to cross train. If you want to avoid injury, you need to be in the gym or at home doing workouts, strengthening your legs, doing unilateral movements. Look workouts up that are helpful for runners, or like I talked about earlier with Runna, their plans can include strength training. And for my half marathon, I included their strength training program into my half marathon training block so that you are also lifting weights, getting stronger, because running is a full body movement. You're using your core, you're using your legs, you're swinging your arms. You want everything to be strong just a couple of times a week so that you are strengthening your glutes, strengthening your legs, and making sure that you avoid injury. Okay, as expected, I have been talking for so long, but we need to get through this because this is one of the most important portions of the video, talking about running your first half marathon and my first half marathon experience. The number one reason that I felt so good throughout my run, and I have still been running since my half marathon, I didn't get burnt out, is because I had an amazing training plan. And that is thanks to Runna. This is not sponsored. I wish. I have told literally everyone in my life who has started running or who is trying to train for something to get Runna, and they've all gone past their 2-week free trial because they love it that much. It is so good. It changed the game for me in terms of running. If you guys are thinking of signing up for a race, then you should absolutely look into Runna or look into like anything that has a good structured training plan, because that will make or break your experience. And I think it also just makes you feel like you're a part of something, you're doing something, you're an athlete, and it just gives you a lot of different like tips and tricks along the way. I also found it really helpful because it had like prompts to tell you to slow down or to tell you to speed up. For me, I have a really hard time like actually pacing myself and keeping my heart rate low. So it was helpful sometimes to be like, it almost like felt like it was giving me permission to slow down. Not that you need that. And if you feel like you do, this is me giving you permission to slow down. But sometimes I felt like, oh yeah, I do need to slow the hell down. And it is the reminder that I needed on this run for me to just calm down, take it slow. That's what this is, an easy run, and it should be easy. But first of all, if you are doing a race, if you're doing your first half marathon, congratulations, first and foremost. So exciting. I'm so excited for you. Can't wait to hear about it. Let's talk about it in the comments because I just did my first one in February. And it was so amazing, so incredible. I felt so excited and so good the whole time. And that's not to say I didn't have struggles throughout my entire training plan. I trained in the winter for a race in Barcelona in February, and I was training in Canada in the winter. So it was like -20, snow, rain, ice, sleet. It was cold, it was hard, it was windy, but it was worth it. Whoa, felt like that was like slam poetry. I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look how good I am, I'm so much better than you, I had so much fun, but I think I just had such a positive mindset and such a good training plan and training experience that I knew I was ready, I had confidence in myself, and I went in just completely and totally expectation free, and I was just pumped to do it and pumped to see what my body could do. And I was like, wow, I did that. When I finished, like the race, you hear this all the time, and if you haven't, then I am here to tell you, the race is the reward. The race is the fun part. The training is the hard part. Like you have put in the hours and the miles to get here today, or whenever you're doing your race. This is the reward. This is the fun part. Enjoy it. Like, yes, it's really awesome to go for a PR, try to challenge yourself, but it's just so amazing what you're doing for yourself and what you're doing for your body. So soak it in and don't get too stressed out, because if you don't get the PR, everyone in your life is still going to love you. And if you don't get the PR, you are still going to get up and try again. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. I'm so proud of you. If you are not telling yourself, you should be, but I'm here to tell you that I'm very proud of you. So congratulations for signing up for one, or for doing your first race, or for being near your first race. And I am so excited to hear about it. Another thing is that you really do have to be patient. You have to be persistent. You have to understand that running and your running journey is not linear. I had weeks where I would feel so shitty. Like, I would go for a run and a 5K would feel impossible. And then the following week I would do a 14K and be like, wow, I feel amazing. I'm a powerful woman. So you just have to be patient with yourself and understand that like you are building up your stamina and your endurance and your fitness, and you're working toward this goal and you are progressing. It just might not feel like it all the time. And that's okay. Some weeks are going to be shitty, especially, have I beat you over the head enough with this one yet? But especially if you are a woman, you know, your cycle is going to dictate how you feel. I do think when you're in a training plan, unless you feel like shit and you have really bad cramps and you can't move, take a rest day. Take a rest couple of days if you need it. But like sometimes you do have to fight through just like a little bit of fatigue. Again, I can't stress enough how important rest is, but sometimes, and as you'll see so much online now, follow the plan, not your feelings. So you have to be intuitive and know your own body. But sometimes like there would be mornings where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go for a run. But that was just because I was like tired and didn't feel like going, you know, I'm waking up and I don't feel like going out in the cold this morning. Then there's other times where I'm like, oh, I really don't feel well, or I have pain, or I'm cramping or whatever. And I'm like, no, I need to listen to my body. But sometimes you need to fight through that initial like, oh, I don't want to do it because I just can't be asked. You have to be hard on yourself sometimes, and you have to be able to distinguish between knowing your body, knowing when you need rest, and knowing when you need to fight through that. So follow the plan, not the feeling, but also know yourself. And it's your journey, no one else's. So if you need to take a rest day, take a goddamn rest day. Take a goddamn rest week if you need to. Honestly, some of my best runs are off the back of a full week off of like running. So, okay. And I've talked about this 1 million times on my channel, but joining run clubs or joining a run club or running with a friend has completely shifted my perspective on running and the ability to create a community with this type of sport. Like I said earlier, I always thought the sport was so isolating and lonely. It is not. I have made some amazing friends from running, and every single time I leave one of the run clubs that I'm a part of now, I feel empowered and excited and inspired and happy. And that is a product of meeting up with a bunch of people that have very similar interests, and you're doing something, you're getting the endorphins from moving your body, maybe you're grabbing a coffee afterward, maybe you're chatting. And I've recruited some of my friends to go for runs with me in the mornings or after work, especially during my training when it was the winter and it was hard and I was doing a lot of it alone. It was really, really nice to mix in a run with other people, you know, be able to do part of my long run with other people or do one of my training plan runs with other people so that I didn't feel so alone. I think it just completely changed my training plan and my running experience. So if you have anything near you, then I highly encourage you to try. Leave your ego at the door. It doesn't matter if you're slow. It doesn't matter if you're the last one. People will still be waiting for you at the end. People will still like you. It literally doesn't matter, I promise. And if there is nothing around you, think about starting one. Why not, right? What's the worst that could happen? No one shows up. You're running alone anyway. So I think run clubs are such a good way to meet people, be a little bit social, and help you through some of those hard, longer training runs that can feel really, really isolating a lot of the time, especially when you're in the thick of your training. Now you're on your race weekend. You're getting there. There are so many different cities and races, and everything is organized differently. I can only speak to my experience running my first organized race last year, which was a 10K in Toronto, and then running my half in Barcelona. That was pretty well organized, I would say. And I was with a group, and they had a lot of the like transportation and all of those things organized for us, which was really nice and took a lot of the pressure off. For race weekend, first and foremost, just remember that you made it. You made it through the hard part. This is the exciting part. Try to enjoy it. I know it's easier said than done, but just try to soak everything in, enjoy it all. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You made it. You know, enjoy the expo, go there, see everything, pick up your bib, feel the excitement of like everyone else doing it together. I honestly believe there's nothing more amazing than shared experience and human connection. And you really, really get that with a big race like a half marathon. I can't even imagine what it would feel like for a full marathon, but you're sharing this experience with thousands and thousands of people most of the time. If you're doing an organized half marathon, everyone's excited, everyone's nervous, everyone's doing it together. You're running next to people in wheelchairs and in banana suits like I was, you know, people of all ages. You're running with parents and kids and teenagers and people your age. Like, it is just so amazing and inspiring. So just take it all in and have fun. I was literally having a dance party for the first like 14 kilometers of my half marathon. I had my music in, my good playlist going, and I was just enjoying it. I was seeing people cheer each other on. I was seeing a mom run to the side and kiss her kids and halfway through the race. Like, just take it all in, be aware, know what's going on, listen to music, have your fun, do whatever gets you through a run, but just enjoy yourself and be so, so proud of what you've done, what you're doing for yourself, and how far you've made it. Because I never, ever, ever thought I would be able to run even 5 kilometers, let alone 21.1 kilometers, and hopefully someday 42. Just be proud of yourself no matter what you do, whether you have to walk a little bit, whether you have to stop, like, be proud, because it is a huge accomplishment to even make it to the start line. I'm sure I missed things. I could literally go on and on about this for days, I fear, but I will not. I am going to stop talking now because I'm thirsty and tired of hearing myself talk. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took something away from it. Let me know if you like videos like this, and please, please, please let me know if you want to see anything else from me in the future about anything, you know, moving abroad, running, other things coming up. Just chat with me down below. Let me know. It's things you'd like to see from me in the spring and summer. There will be some changes. I will be leaving Toronto for a little while, at least, very soon, sadly, but also excitingly. So stick around for vlogs and other videos like this in the very near future. So thank you guys again. I'll see you next week for another video. And for now, have a lovely, beautiful, gorgeous day or night. Bye.